All right, we'll begin. Very good morning. So we have done cover till now. What all have you understood from till now? Whatever you have covered till now. Importance of tax. What is tax? Why tax? Who collects the tax? And at least in India, who is authorized to or regulate the entire, you can say, field of income tax right now, or taxation rather, right? Which was the department for government? Hmm. What was the hierarchy? It starts from where? Government of India, right? No, no, you don't remember. Ministry of Finance. Then first it is about collection. About your what? Collection. है कि नहीं? That is what? Revenue. That is the department of revenue, isn't it? Then you had CBDT, no? Isn't it? Remember all of this? CCIT. I mean, yeah, obviously CCIT, CIT, and ITO, and all of that. That all of you had, correct? The Department of Finance, and after that you had revenue. Remember, Delia? Yeah. And then obviously the most important authority to actually regulate on day-to-day basis, regular basis, it is your CBDT. Yes, Delia? Fine. This all we had already covered. Correct? Yes. So now let us actually get, you can say, used to, or you can say, let us directly jump into our syllabus now. Fine. So paper 4, as you know, it is obviously your taxation for 100 marks. Fine till here. And divided into what? 60 income tax, 40 GST. Overall, out of 100, 30 marks is MCQ. So 18 marks will be MCQs worth of 18 marks from income tax and 12 marks from GST. This is fixed. This is fixed. That ratio is fixed. Because that ratio has to be on both descriptive as well as objective, both. So that ratio is fixed. Alright. So I'm just introducing you to the syllabus, okay? Fine. Now check how many aspect chapters you have. Alright. For income tax, you have almost 15 chapters, okay? Its name, or you can not name, but at least the sequence may not directly match with your ICS study material. But this is one of, I mean, but yes, I think 99% I have followed ICS study material itself. I mean, at least the sequence. And this is one of the most ideal or best sequence to go with the syllabus of income tax. At times, some of the teachers, they directly prefer saying something about basics of income tax and directly starting with one of the heads of income. That is income from house property. So I'm right now just introducing, because you are hearing and listening maybe to this for the first time. Okay. So all this total 15 chapters you have, but only for 60 marks. Correct? In GST also you have 10 chapters. Most of them are theory based, but they are for 40 marks. But you cannot actually honestly ignore any of them. Both of them are equally important. This will take lots of time, but again equally important, right? And again, if you talk about scope as such, scope, again income tax, you can say comparatively has more scope, or you can say it affects almost everyone, individuals, in case of your India as such, or you can say country. But GST as such, again, from again regular or from working point of view, it doesn't affect each and everyone. Like any salaried person, now again he will be obviously paying what? Income tax, isn't it? But again, others, this one, others may not be directly affected by GST. Okay. All right. Yes. So income tax affects many people in the country. GST directly doesn't affect from again working point of view to everybody. So income tax, as we can say, more. That is the reason it is more famous also than GST. Right? Let's go ahead. So let's check what all we are going to cover in our syllabus. Right? The first one is, first and foremost, is the basics of income tax. What is income? What is income tax? What are the beginning sections of this entire act? Then what kind of rates of tax will be there? What all tax rates are given? Different types of tax rates are given. Different types of taxpayers are given. Okay, so this it's going to be very interesting, as well as too much complex. But only if you read carefully. If all you do carefully, it will be normal. It should go smooth. Okay. But the thing is, you have to read between the lines. You have to read carefully. This one thing I will definitely say in case of GST, income tax, or law, anywhere, anything. Even one single sentence or whatever words are given, you need to read it carefully, properly. Every full stop, comma, everything matters. Is not, that also matters. Everything matters. So read carefully. Got it here? So that's, especially income tax will teach you that how to read properly the law. Okay? Because misreading will again will give you again different results, right? So that basics we are going to cover from today, right? The second is your residency status and scope of total income. That means, do you need to be Indian or do you need to have Indian citizenship? Which kind of incomes will be taxed in India? Whether we can tax foreign income in India? Whether Indian income may or may not be taxed in India? Whether Indian income will be taxed outside India? All these things we will learn in second chapter. Then third, we have agricultural income. Like one of the times I had told you that even if agriculture contributes quite well in GDP, still agriculture as such is exempt. But still, that is also then one of the ways of taxing agricultural income. That is what something very interesting again we will learn in this chapter 3. Then fourth, incomes which do not form part of total income, that is exempt income. Now, whenever we are going to learn of income tax, so we are first of all going to understand what is income. You know? So generally we tax every income. So here the income tax law says that some income have to be excluded or some income will not be taxed. Remaining all of them will be now taxed, or we will use the word incomes are taxed as such. All income will be taxed except those mentioned over here in the exempt income. Understood here? So that separate list is removed or separate list is created. That all these incomes now will not be taxed. Got it? Yeah. Now we have something again different house property income. You have income from salary. Then you have income from business or profession. Then capital income or capital gains. Then whatever is now not covered in these four, it can go into other sources. Correct, Ilya? Then clubbing of income, that means your income of your spouse, parents, someone else. It is earned by someone else but taxed in your hands. Okay, that can be there. Then just income is not taxed, even losses, that benefit is given to a taxpayer. That means if at all you are having a loss in a particular year, that benefit of loss will be given to you even in the subsequent years. Are you understanding a little bit or not? Do you understand meaning of the word carry forward? That we will come to that, don't worry. Are you understanding what I'm saying? What do you carry forward means what? Something balance is there that you carry forward. That is what you do in accounts also. So similarly, if you have loss in a year, that loss will be carried forward to the subsequent year. Okay, that means what? If the loss of a year, if there is a loss in a particular year, let me ask you, whether will you pay income tax? Common sense. Will you pay income tax? No. But still that loss is carried forward next year. That means what? Will that loss help you in the next year? It will. Why? Because in the next year you are again going to earn something, let us say profit at all, if at all. Then what will happen if you carry forward the loss from one year to another year? What will happen in another year? That loss will be deducted from the profit of the next year. That means it will get set off. That is what we will learn in that chapter. Understood? So income tax is not that ugly, or you can say that bad, that only profits will be taxed and loss no tax. No. Even in loss, that can be carried forward. That benefit is given. Understood here? Good. Then we have certain deductions also from the income. What all will be allowed to add or reduce? Deduction means reduce from the income. So whatever income you are earning, from that something is removed. Okay, or you can say income is reduced. That part is known as deduction. Then we have again different ways of paying of taxes. Advance tax, TDS, TCS is what we are going to learn. You might have obviously heard of these words, but practically we are going to learn a lot over here. And fourth, obviously, not fourth, sorry, 14th, return. I told you yesterday about, in the last lecture, something about ITR, income tax returns, how to file, what are the rules, regulations for that, who should file, when they should file, if at all they miss the date, what should happen, penalties and all of that. That all is discussed in 14th chapter. And last is total income and tax liability. That means it is basically merger of all chapters rather. Okay, whenever it talks about your calculation. Fine, Taylor? So only chapter number 14 as such is something very practical oriented, the execution part, and remaining all of them, yes, we have lots of calculations to do. I mean, lots and lots of calculation. It is mainly calculation based. So only 14 is little bit theoretical, remaining all of them is your practical based. Understood? So tax, can you call it as theory paper or practical paper? It is actually proper mixture of both of them. It is theory as well as practical. Only if you know, if I tell you to calculate tax, you will not be able to calculate tax without knowing the law. So first you have to know the law and then practically execute it. It is exactly opposite of company law. In company law, you only know the law. You can read the law. You can understand the law. We are not going to solve something, or we are not going to calculate assess anything from it. At least the majority part of it. Okay, done till here. In maybe company law, that you can say concept also comes into your accounting and all. Right shares, bonus shares, dividend calculations. That can be there. Or you can say amount of buyback or allotment of securities. All these things may be there. But again, from our syllabus point of view of paper number 2, there is nothing practical as such over there. Got it? Fine till here? Let's go ahead now. Ready? Chalo, in your notebook, please write down. Come on, come on, come on. I hope you had already written down the website names, bachcho. Fine. incometaxindia.gov.in and incometaxindia e-filing.gov.in. The same thing will be even for your company's act, that is MCA, correct? Now, why am I showing you? So that you can get to the source. Whenever ever you have a doubt, instead of relying on any teacher or just Google, you should always go to the source. Okay. So check incometaxindia.gov.in. This is the basic, you can say, website of income tax department, right? We are going to learn about income tax act as well as income tax rule. Okay, little bit of acts and rules we have covered. Okay, don't forget that. So both of it is given in this website only. Tax laws and rules. Okay, on the website you will see that tax laws and rules. Can you see this main website? If you zoom in a little bit here, you will see tax laws and rules. Now, if at all you want to read from the act itself, that's why I'm telling you this. You can say the base. Okay. If at all you want to read from the act itself, click on act over there. The first thing you'll see is income tax act. Clear till here? Yes. First thing you will see is what? Income tax act. Click on that. And now you can see the act itself. Okay, section 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. And that is what we are going to learn. In our notes, obviously, it is simplified. In any teacher's notes or you can say reference books, it is simplified. Here you are going to learn the proper from the bare act. Clear till here? Now, as amended by Finance Act 2020. Now, we are in which year? Actually, right now, about 2021. Okay. Now, check. Is it available? Why not? But the budget was already given. So at least as of today, it is not yet passed, approved by the president yet. It will take some time. We saw about Income Tax Act, from where to check it, and you can also check the income tax rules. So whenever you have doubt, whenever you want to check what is the latest law, whatever is written in the notes are correct or not, wherever, not just our, but from anywhere, you can directly check from the source itself on the income tax website, Income Tax India Act as well as rules. The same thing will also be for MCA. Okay, that is very important. Similarly, one more website I told you, which one? Income Tax India e-filing.gov.in. Why? What do we use this website for? Mainly for e-filing purpose. Filing of your income tax returns. Right? Check what all services can you see over here. Instant PAN through Aadhaar, tax calculators for the financial year 2021. You can link your PAN with Aadhaar. You can pay taxes. You can verify your returns. If at all any demand is outstanding, ITR status. That means when you have filed income tax returns, whether it is actually processed or not processed, where is your refund, it is stuck or not, whatever it is. Know your TAN, that is your tax deduction account number. AO is assessing officer, okay, that is income tax officer. Then verify your PAN details. That means yesterday I showed you now, you could check PAN of anybody. Here also you can put the PAN and check whether the PAN is active or not, it is correct or not. All that you can see. Check the refund dispatch status. Very important. People have this misconception, especially when they are getting introduced to the tax for the first time. We file an income tax return, that means we get money, no? That means we get refund, no? That is what people ask. I don't know why. They have this misunderstanding that when you file income tax return, you will get refund. It is not like that. Okay? So keep that in mind. And from here, if at all you are new to e-filing, you can create your own login. Okay? But obviously for that you will require PAN. And just because you have an account doesn't mean that you have to file income tax return. But you can just have an account, but please keep the password and all of that proper with you, so you can check it on later on. Once you log in, then you can see different types of services which is given in the account. So you can also check your history of all the returns you have filed, or what is your record with income tax department. That also you can check for how many years what you have filed. If at all by chance this password is not with you,
Then you can request obviously your professional or whoever you have given this work to, or you can also reset your password, right? And check, very important over here is ITR.
Anyone who is holding PAN can register on this?
Yes, obviously.
Anyone can file a tax return, no? I mean,
Yes.
On others' behalf.
On others' behalf, if at all they have access to this. So the client should share, the taxpayer should share his details, login ID, password, or all the basic details. Or actually the professional, whoever is professional, he should share the details with the client if it is done by the professional itself. So as a client, as a taxpayer, you can request or demand for user ID and password. User ID is your PAN only, password may be with him, otherwise you can ask for forget password. That can also happen, right? And over here, check over here, everybody. Here you will see ITR preparation software. Okay, income tax return preparation software. That is also important. Or else I can say all the forms which you have seen, ITR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these details are given over here. Finally, that means from using this, you yourself can also file income tax return. At least you can go through it. And important changes, etc., that is given, or whatever information is there, that is also given over here. Got it? We were seeing the status is something, no? How many users are still now registered? 9.16 crore, I think so. Isn't it? 50. कितना बराबर है? 9 crore 16 lakh 51,626 are still as of now PAN, which is on record of the department, correct? Who are, you can say, they have created the login ID over here. Done till here? Fine. So these two important are the websites. You should obviously always go through. Fine. Let's go ahead, everybody. You have also seen the syllabus, okay?
Yes.
Now, please keep one thing in mind. The subject of paper 2 and paper 4, taxes, laws, they are dynamic. They keep on changing. Amendments will be there, okay? So the first and foremost question is, we have to cut off. What is the cutoff date for our syllabus? Cutoff date, that means, let us say if the law is changing on day-to-day basis or monthly basis or whatever, quarterly basis or yearly basis, till what date is our syllabus relevant? No, that it should be there. That means, let us say, pay attention. If your exam is in November 2021, doesn't it, you are studying, but the law as of what date is still relevant to you? That is the first and foremost you should always keep in mind, right? So please write down this. For November 2021 exam, the cutoff date is 30th April. Okay. The cutoff date is, that means the cutoff date for the law. That means whatever is the legal, you can say, situation, or you can say the law as such, as of this date is relevant to you. Okay. Got it here? So whatever is the law as of this date, only this date is applicable. So now whatever changes may happen in the month of April, May, June, that is not part of your syllabus. Similarly, let us say, again for the sake of example, I am telling you, if at all the exams are in May 2022, so that you will always understand what is the month till which you have to, that law is applicable to you. For that, the cutoff date is October, okay, 31st, no? 2021. That means whatever was the law as of 6 months before, almost the exam month, 6 months before the exam month will be the law which will be relevant to you in the syllabus. Understood here? So for the sake of November, what will you say? April end. Did you understand or no? For the sake of November, it is what? April end, and for the sake of May, it is October end. Got it here? That is the law you should always, that is the first thing you should keep in mind. Clear? Because this is very basics. Many times students ask, sir, till what time you have to study, till what time you have to study. So all these things are also given by ICAI, but you should also know that till what date your syllabus is relevant to you. Got it, Leo? As it is, have you heard of RTP? RTP, revision test paper, is given by ICAI for every examination. So again, for every examination, ICAI also brings out all the amendments which is applicable for the particular examination. So that also is already helpful to you. Then apart from that, ICAI again gives a small booklet, especially only for paper number 4 as such, taxation. It is known as statutory update. That is all the changes which is relevant for the upcoming examination. Where will you find again all of this? on ICI, that your student section where you download your material. Okay, even third, one more again important thing also I was going through recently is your case study based MCQ booklet. Have you heard of that? Case study, or you can say scenario MCQ booklet. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
It is exactly applicable for paper 2, 4 and for 6, 7. 6, 7 is what your audit and EISSM. You have MCQs over there. So now MCQs will not be 1 mark, 2 mark, small 2 lines questions only. It will be also based on case study, proper case study. That means multiple sections, multiple scenarios will be introduced in that case study, and questions are then asked for 2 marks each. So that a separate booklet is given by ICAI now. Okay, you can download it, or you can obviously keep it print also with you. So this is also very important. Now please keep that in mind. Done till here? Yes. Sure. Let's go with the syllabus now. So first and foremost, obviously, is your basics of income tax. Clear? Yeah. Let's go. So we have already seen a little bit basic that we have 2 types of taxes. Mainly, which one? Which one? Your direct and indirect taxes. Correct till here? Yes. Direct tax will be on what, bacho? Income or wealth of a person, isn't it? Income tax, wealth tax, inheritance tax, all these taxes are your direct, isn't it? And indirect is what, bacho? It is on your expenditure, goods and or services. Or you can see again your GST is there as well as custom duty is there. Yes, till here? Now check types of taxes. What you have? Direct and indirect. In indirect you have what? GST, that is part of a syllabus, as customs will be part of your CA final syllabus. And direct you have regular, whatever you have earned, income tax, as well as tax on undisclosed foreign income and assets. Now why this point will be there? After every government, what is their always agenda in the elections? That we will tax black money, we will tax black money, we will tax that money which is stashed in Swiss bank, which is kept in Swiss bank or outside India. So again, if at all you have undisclosed, this is very important. Is it illegal to have assets outside India? Tell me this.
No.
It is not illegal to have assets outside India. What is illegal? Not to declare those assets. Or if at all you're earning income from outside India, not to declare, that is illegal. So now pay attention. If at all you're taxing income, pay attention, a very simple question now. If at all you're taxing income, here also you have your regular income, and here also you have your regular income, but which is undisclosed or not voluntarily disclosed by the taxpayer. What do you think, both the income tax rates will be same?
No.
Why? Or where will be higher?
Undisclosed, no, because they divide the penalty as well.
Exactly. Here there will be obviously higher rate of tax because you did not voluntarily disclose it, or you have not shown it, right? So obviously there will be penalties, interest, surcharge, all these things will be there in your undisclosed income. Correctly here? Yes. So all those things also we have to see. Now who gave the right to the government to collect the taxes? Okay. Now whenever all these things happen, no, only and only government as such is given authority to collect the taxes, and government gets this power, duties, everything from the constitution. I think we discussed about central and state, the relationship between central and state. So duties, powers, everything are divided, and that is given in your constitution. So there are, you can say, rights only of union, that is given in list 1 of constitution. Then there are rights only of state, which is given in list 2 of the constitution. And then we also call it as concurrent list, which is list number 3, where the rights are both as state as well as union. Okay, we will see that. So check Article 246 of your constitution. Of that 7th schedule, list 1. What is list 1, bacho? It is the union list. Union list means what? Of your central government. Those authority is given. Okay. So Article 246 of that 7th schedule, list 1 is always, you can write down, so if at all you want, you can write down in the notebook. Write down. List 1 is what? Union list, correct? List 2, state. And list number 3, list means your item numbers, okay? You can generally see that. It is a concurrent list. Concurrent list. That is what?
Both.
Yes, CG and SG. Correct, eh? Everybody? Clear? Done everybody? So, income tax, pay attention now, is given in list 1. That means who has the authority to collect income tax?
Unions.
Union. Income tax is not given in list 2 or list 3. That means particularly specifically who doesn't have the right to collect income tax?
State.
State. Not at all. There is no concept of income tax for state. They cannot collect taxes on income. Who? State government. So entry number 82 of your list 1 talks about what? Check. Has given the power to CG. Okay, this is very important. To levy, very important, please pay attention. To levy means what?
Impose.
Impose or charge. Write down. Impose or charge. Levy equals to what? Impose or charge. Okay. Notes will get tomorrow. By tomorrow we'll get the actual physical notes also. So if you want to write in the
Amiga, AS Foundation.
yeah. Huh?
Notes.
Huh?
AS Foundation के लिए.
नहीं. Why?
That receptionist was taking your names. Miraj sir का कुछ order है कुछ. Miraj Mahajan का order है. I don't know.
Huh?
Yesterday when I went to
For
take-
inter or foundation?
I don't know.
Ask. Great. Anyways, it must be some old notes maybe. Okay. So it's given the power to CG to levy taxes on what? Income. Impose levy. Did you understand? Which taxes we are talking about? Taxes on income. The word used over there obviously is what? Income. This is given in Constitution now. Please keep in mind. Constitution is separate. Income Tax Act is separate. Obviously. Who is supreme? Constitution. So it is telling that you can tax income. For that you frame or you create another law. No? That another law is what? Income Tax Act is what we are going to learn. Isn't it? But pay attention. The Constitution says what? You can levy or charge taxes on income other than
Agriculture.
Constitution 1949, 1950 is that time period. And agriculture still, and from that time we are saying that it is not to be taxed. Now, first of all, did you understand you will tax income? This much you understood because government has said it is allowed, authority is given. Now again, did you understand something we may not tax also? Something we may not even, we will not tax. Who said that right now? Income Tax Act or Constitution?
Income tax.
Right now, in this sentence.
Constitution.
We are discussing still, we have not even got into act now. Constitution of India said that you can tax income other than agricultural income. Clear till here? So one thing you have to understand that is the reason I was telling you in syllabus. Do we have this also that there are some incomes which are not to be taxed? Understood? The first and foremost now you got the point that agricultural income may not be taxed or should not be taxed because Constitution has said that. Correct? Eh? But still we have the chapter. Which one do you remember? There is a separate chapter on agricultural income. Understood something or the other? Now you are understanding. You are just getting introduced to what all possibilities are there in income tax. Understood, Leo? Got it? So first reference of agricultural income not to be taxed is given in Constitution. Okay, Leo? Done? Check now. When we talk about income tax law, that law means what all parts should be there or what all do we actually study or use to understand income tax law is what we are going to understand. Clear till here? Again, I hope you are understanding Constitution is different. Income Tax Act is given by Parliament. Then you have Income Tax Department, CBDT, machinery, that is department. Are you understand till here? So all these people are working in tandem or in sync rather. Okay? So check. When we say income tax in India, basically what do we learn or study? Okay, pay attention. First and foremost, Income Tax Act. Okay, Income Tax Act. It is Income Tax Act 1961, that is there. Fine. Then we have Annual Finance Act. The word itself, Annual Finance Act. Annual means what?
Yearly.
It will be yearly. Okay. So a separate act. Whether both of them are act, bachcho, can you see the word act over there? Yes or no? It is both of them are acts. That means one act is kind of right now permanent income tax, yes, and one act is coming every year, which is annual finance act. Are you understanding clear? Clear? So do I have finance act every year? 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21?
Yes.
I should have it because it is called as annual. But income tax act, do we have 1961, 62, 63, 64, 65? No. Act is only one. It may get amended every year. Who? Income tax act. But the finance act is coming itself every year. This is the first of all difference between both of them. Got it? Fine, everybody? Now, third is what, bachcho? Rules. I have already cleared this very much. Rules is as such given by CBDT, the machinery, the administrative part, and act is given by the parliament. Rules will help who actually? Tell me. Yes, very good. It will help the act. Clear till here? It will help the act. Then we have some circulars or notifications given by CBDT, Income Tax Department, etc. Mainly CBDT. Okay. See, all these things we will. Everything is discussed in detail. Okay. Pay attention. Everybody, pay attention. Income Tax Act. Can you see here? Finance Act. Okay. Rules, circular notification, and case clause. All of that we are going to go through. Okay. All these 5 parts are there. Now, again, circular notification given by what? CBDT. Fine. And last but not the least, legal decisions of the courts. Yes or no? Legal decisions of the courts. Now tell me, bachcho, do you remember in company law, or sorry, in law also we have learned in paper 2 basics. There are 3 main organs of our democracy.
Yes.
3 organs, which Article 12 of Constitution.
Legislative, executive, and
Legislature, executive, and judiciary. Law making, legislature. Correct? Eh? Tell me. So can I say at least till all this is as such a legislature, as such I'm saying, as such. At least the main first 2 part whenever you're talking about act, that is legislature, isn't it? To execute we have income tax department, etc. CBDT. They will help you actually with rules, circulars, notification, this one. Very clear, eh? The executive part. And judiciary is also coming into picture. Yes, check. Legal decisions of the courts is judiciary, isn't it? So even we are basically going to take help of all of them to understand law. Clear till here, bachcho? This is your judiciary part, है ना? Legal decisions of the courts. Fine. Now, first of all, what is the weightage of this chapter? Did you see? Basis of income tax. Check. 5 to 10% out of your 60 marks. Income tax is for what, bachcho? 60 marks. Got it? So, some chapters are obviously clubbed together. Clubbed together. Who? Can you see from chapter number 3 as such to what, 9? Can you see that? They are clubbed together as a group. But some chapters are given specific weightages. That means it is for sure. You have to do those chapters. You cannot skip it. Are you understanding, Leo? Got it? And then remaining of the is not that great. I mean, you have 2-3 chapters are clubbed together. So 1 and 2 you have to do properly. No doubt about it. Okay? Done? Got it? Now check. Please check. Income Tax Act 1961. When did we get our constitution? 1950. 26 January we are celebrating it. Correct? Did we have income tax even before 1961?
yes,
Yes.
Yes, we had. Did we have Companies Act before independence?
yes,
We saw that in company law. I think 1912 something. Then 1800s again you have. So there were at least 3 acts of Companies Act before independence. I'm talking before independence. Okay. Even income tax before independence we had couple of them obviously. Okay. I think as far as I remember it is one is 1926, and before that also we had 1913 around something we had. So income tax act we had obviously even before independence. Clear till here? That is one thing. But after independence again we created it directly in 1961. First and foremost, the problem area of student. The first thing, first MCQ which can be asked. Income Tax Act as such, you can say approval is in 1961, wherever ever you see. But Income Tax Act is effective from
first April 1960.
This is the problem area, you can say. It started being applicable from the next financial year, 1st April 1962. So don't get confused between. This is the first and I think one of the only unique examples where the name, so the year in the name and actual effective date are different, isn't it? Your negotiable contract, general clauses, whatever you are going to see, GST, all of them have same years as well as same year of being effective. But income tax is 1961, but being effective from 62, 1st April 62. So first question I can tell you is important everywhere in paper 2 as well as paper 4, law as well as tax. Whatever acts you are doing, income tax, GST, Companies Act, your general clauses, general clauses, contract, negotiable, you should write down all these 5 acts and their date of being effective. This has to be your homework. At least whenever you are going to do even your other laws also, Companies Act also. What did I say? Write down somewhere what? Name of the act and its date of being effective. This will be a question. So it will help you in paper 2 as well as paper 4. Got it? Now pay attention. It has 298 sections, the Income Tax Act, 14 schedules. What is a schedule, Bacho? We did do this, and we will do this actually in the basics of law in paper 2. But usually, what do you think is the meaning of the word schedule? Because you are being introduced, you have used this word before in your syllabus. You have not in income tax, but have you heard this word or used this word schedule somewhere in accounts?
Yes.
Which schedule?
In Company Act, there are 7 schedules.
So you use or you don't use you have accounts of company, the company accounts you have, no?
Yes.
So do you use the formats or not?
No.
You don't use?
No, I mean, in
Schedule 3, Schedule 6.
In foundation, there was no such format.
Foundation you did. Now you'll have that. So Schedule 3, Schedule 6, whatever that those schedules you use again for accounting. So for the formats of financials. That is given in Companies Act. Okay. So schedules are actually some again formats, something given after the act. Okay, but it is in the act itself. Keep that in mind.
I think MOA and AOA formats are given in schedules. No?
Schedule forms are given A, B, C, D, and
A, B, C, D, E, F. For the limited liability.
A to E we have MOA, and after that 5 we have for AOA.
AOA.
Where it is given, let me check. I think rules रहेगा, देखना पड़ेगा. Let me check. It will be there. I think it will be maybe in rules also. Okay, but schedules are what, बच्चों? There are some formats given at the end of the act. Rules, pay attention now. Rules also has lots of formats, but the schedules are given in the act. Are you understanding? So formats in rules and formats in act, which become more important? Formats in act, because the government doesn't want it to change regularly. Now pay attention. If I write formats of financial statements, pay attention. Formats of financial statement and rules. Now anybody can come and change it very easily, but that will be so much problem. Instead of that, what I am saying, to have uniformity all over the country, and so that people adhere to it, they will use that same, you can say, format. That is the reason they keep that format in act, so that it doesn't change. Or only Parliament has the authority to change it, not the administrative. Understood or not? That is the reason of keeping it in the act. Got it? Anyways, so only 298 section, that only you can keep in mind. Schedules are not important. Pay attention. The Income Tax Act, pay attention, undergoes change. It will change what? Every year, with additions as well as deletions brought out by the Annual Finance Act passed by the Parliament. That means we do not make changes to the Income Tax Act directly. We every year bring Finance Act. I mean, the budget speech, whichever you hear, the finance minister is actually talking about finance bill. She or he is going through the budget speech. Budget speech is just summary, important highlights of the finance bill. Once it is proposed in the budget speech, it will go through the process and everything, and the finance bill will become act. So now pay attention. For example, 2021 budget speech you had. It discussed what, bachcho? Finance summary of finance bill. Which one? 2021. Did you understand till here? Clear, eh? And now once it is approved by the president, what will happen now? Tell me.
Act.
Yes, we call it as Finance Act 2021. Got it till here? Yes. Now let us say this is obviously recent one. So as of today, it is not yet act. That is the reason. It is not an act. That is the reason we also do not study it in the current syllabus of 2021. Your examination, let us say, is November 21, and as of today, or let us say by April also, it will not be properly passed or published or etc. That is the reason we do not study it in the current year itself. कुछ समझ रहे कि नहीं समझ रहा? Are you understanding or not?
Sir, but then
If at all it is passed before April.
no. My question is different.
हाँ.
See, the finance bill is particularly for the upcoming
Financial year.
upcoming financial year. If it is not getting passed in the previous financial year, then what is the,
By
how
March
will
or
it
April?
impact on the implementation of that act?
How will it?
Impact on the implementation of that finance.
But immediately by April we start using that. By April
without passing it.
there is a law in Income Tax Act that if at all as on 1st April, it is not yet passed, we continue with the old one. We continue with the old one because that is the law in existence. It has to be replaced. There cannot be a black hole or there cannot be a vacuum that this law is over and next law is not yet started. It cannot happen. So the new law has not yet started, the first one continues. But practically speaking, everyone obviously follows with the new one only. But again, for your syllabus, we do not study the immediately recent act because it is not yet passed. Once it passes, then you are going to study. So it is going to be next to impossible. You understand, Leo? Okay, pay attention. So now, can I say, Bachcho, Income Tax Act is getting changed because of? Tell me this. Who is changing Income Tax Act?
Annual Finance Act.
The Finance Act is changing the Income Tax Act. Finance Act has rates of taxes, changes of taxes. Everything is given in the Finance Act, and whatever changes are there, that get reflected or incorporated in Income Tax Act. Understood, Leo? Got it? So check. So with additions and deletions brought out by the Annual Finance Act passed by the Parliament. Everyone got it, Leo? So in short, we are going to call it as FA, that is Finance Act. Obviously now we know it is obviously annual. The act itself is annual. Yes? Fine. Now let us talk about the Finance Act. Yes? Pay attention. When the finance bill is passed by both the houses of the Parliament and gets assent, that is approval by the President, it will become the Finance Act. Okay? Now Finance Act has certain again schedules. Again we are talking of now separate act. Please don't get confused. Okay? Income tax also had schedules, Bachcho. Income tax had schedules, yes or no? Company that has schedules. Finance Act is also act. It will also have some schedules. Okay? Yes. Now check. When the finance bill is passed, it will become Finance Act. So there is first schedule gives income tax rates for different assessees for the current assessment year and advance tax rates for the next assessment year. All these things we will come to that later on. Okay? This is little bit right now technical for you. But there are certain parts in your Finance Act. Okay? What did I say just now? Just understand rates of taxes mainly are given in your Finance Act. Okay? Which part will give you what? For that, first of all, you have to understand what is current year, previous year, assessment year, assessing and all of it. Okay? We will come to that. So this part we will come to Finance Act. Clear? Finally, here. Third, income tax rules. Important, Bachcho. Check. The CBDT is empowered. Please highlight or star mark this. CBDT has power to empowered to make the rules for carrying out for the purposes of proper administration of the Act. Rules are going to help your Act. Please keep that in mind. CBDT is given the authority to make or amend the rules. Clear? Rules obviously will have what? Sub rules, provisos, explanations, formats, that is forms, etc. Clear? Again, the example which I told you, income tax return, PAN application, some certificate by CA, whatever it is, all that is given in what? Rules. In fact, let me tell you very honestly, the entire chapter of one of the chapters which you are going to do, salaries. Okay? This is a big chapter, but in income tax it has only 3 sections. In the Income Tax Act, it has only 3 sections. That's it. Okay? So the majority of the part of this chapter is coming through rules. The calculations, process, everything is coming through rules, not through the Act. So it is a very small concept in the Act, but the proper calculations are given in the rules. Got it? Done? Everybody? Now, circulars and notifications. Pay attention now. Please pay attention. Circulars. are issued by CBDT from time to time to deal with certain specific problems. Now again during COVID and all, some rates of taxes were changed and there's kind of some confusion. What is taxable, what is not taxable, how to actually proceed with this, what is the correct interpretation of a certain thing. There is maybe some non-clarity over there. Over there, CBDT comes into picture and gives that clarity by issuing what bacho? A circular. Finally here. So again, certain specific problems and to clarify, okay, doubts regarding scope and meaning of certain provisions of the Act. You can kind of say it is like FAQs. Have you heard of FAQs? Frequently asked questions. You know? So they are given, that also come with nice FAQs kind of. That, you know, if at all a new section has come into picture by a budget speech, okay, and it is, the Act itself is not yet available. So there are obviously questions of the assessees or tax professionals, how this is going to be implemented, how is this going to be executed. So over there, CBDT comes into picture and gives some more clarity. Clear till here? That is your circular. So can I say, bacho, circular is for doubt clearing?
Yes.
And to give clarity. Then, the department is bound by the circular. Please again underline this. It is issued by CBDT. And income tax is, you can say, part and parcel of CBDT, income tax department. So whatever circular is issued by the CBDT is bound, the department is bound by that. The department is bound by that means what? The income tax department. That means all the officers, whatever authority of income tax department, they have to follow, or is it optional for them to follow the circular?
Have to follow.
They have to follow, because that is, you can say, directly mandate, or you can say point of view or opinion of the government. It is directly come from the, it is directly coming from the upper source. So the officer cannot say it is not given in the Act. Pay attention. Is circular part of the Act?
No.
No. Is circular part of the rules?
No.
No. It is just a general statement, you can say, publication. So the officer cannot say this is not part of the Act. He has to follow the Act, he has to follow the rules, etc. बराबर है? So he cannot say I will not follow circular. If it is directly given by CBDT or you can say Act, it is binding on the department. Howsoever or whatsoever it is, if you can say beneficial or not beneficial to the taxpayer. Okay, are you understanding clear? So this clarity is given by the CBDT. So department is bound, is very important, okay, by the circulars. Okay, now pay attention. However, such circulars are not binding on the assessees. Assessees means what did I tell you last time? Taxpayer. Oh, simple word to understand right now is what bacho? Taxpayer. The circulars are not binding on the taxpayers. Why? Because circulars was for a kind of an internal clarification or FAQs. So they are legally bound by them? No. They means what? Taxpayers? No. Taxpayers are legally bound by only by the Act as such, Act, rules, etc. Because the circular is given for internal clarification. Okay, so they can challenge this in the court, or court is just going to have a look at it. But assessee may or may not follow those circulars, but department has to follow. That you have to keep in mind. Understood? Clear? Hai? Now you will understand. No, if the circular is not in favor of the taxpayer, if the circular is not in favor of the taxpayer, will the taxpayer follow it? No. If the circular is not in favor of the taxpayer, will the department follow it?
Yes.
They have to follow it. If the circular is in favor of the taxpayer, will the taxpayer follow it? It is in favor of the taxpayer, will he follow it?
Yes.
He will, no. In his favor means what? Let us say his tax clarity will reduce. Then obviously he will take the advantage. Pay attention now. If the circular is in advantage of the taxpayer, he will follow it. Normally, practically speaking, he can, because he has the option. He will, you can say, let us say. But if it's the same circular which is in favor or advantage of taxpayer, will department follow it?
Yes.
They have to follow it. They don't have option. Even if they don't like it. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Because again, if it is in favor of the taxpayer, it is not in favor of the department. Simple as that. There are again fighting going on between these two people, income tax department and taxpayer. Who will pay taxes, how much they do. Income tax department will have a target, higher taxes, to recover higher taxes. Taxpayer will have a target, lower taxes. Again, that fight is continuous, isn't it? So that is why the reason of tax planning and all these things come into picture. And you understand till here? Clear? They can take advantage of beneficial
But
circulars.
sir, the officers, those who work in IT department, they are also one kind of taxpayers, no?
Again, they can for their own case they may take the advantage. Yeah. See, again, the same person is his own individual also, and he is right now again working in the capacity of an income tax officer. That is separate. As an income tax officer, obviously, he has to follow. As an assessee taxpayer, he may not follow. It is the same difference between partner and partnership firm. Got it? And last but not the least is case laws. So basically, whenever in our articleship also, we used to do lots of research, study, what is taxable, not taxable. We literally used to go through all of this. Literally, especially pay attention. Whenever there was a new law, no, we used to go through. First and foremost is the budget speech. Okay, budget speech. Then, if it all, I think I have shown you on YouTube that one of the websites also where that union budget is given. Okay, there is something known as, you should write down this actually. Budget speech. That BS is for budget speech. Okay. Memorandum explaining finance bill. Okay. Memorandum explaining finance bill. Okay. Again, it is issued by your government. Sorry. Now tell me, Bachu, what is the finance bill doing actually? What is the work of finance bill? Tell me. Just now we have seen that. That's why I'm asking you. What is the work of finance bill? Tell me that. It will give you additions and deletions for your income tax rates. Correct? Eh? Basically changes in the tax and changes in your income tax law. Right? Changes. So the changes are explained over here in this document. I understand the reason, the justification, what was the problem, what was the issue, that is clarified over here. So you will have that understanding why this particular law is there. Yes? Got it, everybody? Then we come to Suno, what all research we should do? Act, Income Tax Act, Income Tax rules. Then again your notification, circulars, all of that, okay? Notification and circulars. And last but not the least, your very important also, case laws. Now why all of this we are doing? To understand whether a particular item is taxable or not taxable, or what is the tax impact on a particular transaction. Everybody got it till here? This should be a research material basically. Not directly going on Google and asking what is the transaction and taxability. You can go to the direct source itself, no? For case law, did I tell you from where you can read the case laws? Where you can get the case laws? All the case laws?
ITR.
You will not get on Income Tax website now. Income Tax Reporter, I told you. Income Tax Reporter or Taxman. All these websites and services, they provide you the case laws. Right? Either you can ask for journal or magazines that can come at your place, or you can have online subscription, that also you can do. Okay? So Taxman, this service is given, Taxman. Income Tax Reporter. Again, services are different, pricing are different. So every professional as is practicing professional has access to, obviously to buy this for research. Got it done? Yeah, notification, pay attention, bachcho. Notifications are issued by the CG. Please understand. Circular, CBDT, notification, CG. Yes? Ayana, write down somewhere. Circular, CBDT, notifications, CG. So circulars are issued by CBDT for clarification, and notifications are issued by the CG to give effect to the provisions of the Act. Okay? Now something is applicable from when, it is not applicable from when, it is delayed or not, it is, you can say, kept on hold or not. Then there are some, you can say, laws applicable only in certain institutes. So they can give a notification that these all institutes are applicable, these all institutes are removed from there. Or if at all you donate to these particular institutes, you will get the benefit. So that is given by CG, right? Understood here? See, because of MCQ, now what happens is each and every concept line becomes important. Case laws. Judiciary, I hope you understand in the judiciary. Did I tell you the sequence of judiciary in the earlier lectures?
Yes.
For income tax purpose, do you remember?
Yes.
First level income tax officer, then
CIT.
CIT appeals, Commissioner of Income Tax appeals. After that,
CBIT.
ITAT, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. After that,
High Court.
High Court, and after that,
Supreme Court.
very good. So judiciary will obviously hear the disputes between the assessee and the department. These two people are only involved in this entire story. Who? Taxpayer and the tax department. Their fight is going on and give decisions on various matters, whatever it is. Taxable, not taxable, meaning that's it. Taxable or not taxable. The Supreme Court obviously is the apex. Apex means top court over here, है ना? And the law laid down by Supreme Court is the law of the land. But I told you, I gave you that example also somewhere, I think. Who can overrule the judgment of Supreme Court?
President.
Okay. I think I gave you example of that Vodafone case law. The Parliament later on makes changes in the law itself.
Pranab Mukherjee.
That also with retrospective effect. Remember or not? I gave you that example in law somewhere. In law. That when for Vodafone, the income tax department made a demand for 10,000 crore rupees something. Income tax department made 10,000 crore rupees some demand in around 2009 or 10 something. So that matter went up to Supreme Court. And in Supreme Court, the court gave the decision in favor of Vodafone. That it is not taxable, it is not liable to pay taxes. I think recently, whatever.
Pranab Mukherjee was.
And then whenever the decision was given that the company is correct and all, or you can say as per the law, it is correct, the company is correct, there is no problem or there is no tax demand. But then what did the parliament do? They made changes to the law itself. That also with retrospective effect. Okay, pay attention. One thing, please again write down in your notebook. A law, provision, whatever, it can be from two types: retrospective or prospective. Please write down this: retrospective or prospective. So that whenever I use this word, you'll be okay, no? With retrospective effect or with prospective effect. So what do you mean by retrospective? It is backdated, and prospective is future dated, effective from future. Clear? If I give you a very simple example, pay attention now. Don't write down this, but ठीक है. Let us assume this is a check. Assume, ठीक है? And what is the date today? 19 or 19 February, na? Now, let us say, if I write this check of the future date, let us say 25th March, okay, 2021. Again, for the sake of example, right now we are in the month of February. If I write this date, okay, and I write everything details, pay to so and so, amount so and so, I sign here and all of that. Fine till here? Now, this check is written, but whether this check as of today, does it have life?
No.
Does it have life as such? Or can it be used?
No.
Is it in effect right now? No. When did it get into its effect? As on or after, you can say obviously 25th March. Yes or no? This is right now future date. So this check is effective from prospective effect. Correct? Similarly, let us say, if I write some earlier date, but let us say we are in the month of February right now. So 25th January if I write down. Now this is from effect. Even if today I issue this check, but backdated, this kind of now with retrospective effect. I understand it till here? Yes? So something done with backdated effect. Effect your understanding being enforced. So something done which is done today, but it is effective since earlier times also as such. That is known as with retrospective effect. Understood here? And which is done as of today, but which will be applicable or executed in future. That is with prospective effect. Got it, everybody? Done? And obviously, third one is what? With immediate effect. This obviously you would have heard about. If nothing is given over there, so whenever that law or section or circular is given, it is effective immediately. If no date is given over there, it is effective immediately. Done? Everybody? So in Vodafone also what happened? No. Even if they made changes to the law, okay? They made changes to that particular section with retrospective effect. That means it was effective from 1st April 1962. That this particular item is taxable. You understand the impact of it? Let us say in 2000, again I am giving this example only, in 2010, okay, as per the act as such, it is not taxable. Clear till here? That was the situation or position by the courts also, let us say. And in 2011 something, Parliament made the amendment with what effect? With retrospective effect. Okay? And what did I say? It is taxable since 1st April 1962. Now, since 1st April 1962, that means as of 2010 it was taxable or not? Yes. It is now. Now they made the changes. No. The changes is saying that it is taxable since 1st April 1962. So obviously, even in 2010 it was taxable. Are you understanding? That is a very big game the government also plays, but that is very rare and that is very, very discouraging. Okay, it is not obviously not a good. Never ever. Retrospective amendments are never ever took, or you can say, in a positive light. It is very, very bad for every government. Okay, done everybody? Tell you got it? The decisions given, pay attention, important. The decisions given by various high courts will apply in the respective states in which such high courts have jurisdiction. Means what? Means what? You're talking about to now your jurisdiction. Pay attention. If you have a Bombay High Court, okay, I hope you know in short we call it as Mumbai or Bombay High Court, okay? And Bombay High Court, pay attention now. When did you reach to Bombay High Court? Directly did you reach to Bombay High Court? You reached it after ITAC, if you remember. Correct, Ilya? Every court has a jurisdiction. Every, you can say, authority or court has a jurisdiction. Clear? Eh? Now, if the matter is gone to Bombay High Court and it says, let us say it is not taxable. Are you saying? Are you understanding here? But the income tax officer, or you can say CIT appeals, let us say sitting in Hyderabad, and the same matter comes in Hyderabad in front of income tax officer. Okay, can the taxpayer use the judgment given by Bombay High Court saying that it is not taxable?
No.
He cannot. He may just give a reference, but he is not bound by the same. One thing you understand, Supreme Court judgments are applicable, I mean it overrides everybody. So High Court judgment will override ITAT's judgment, ITAT judgment will override CAT's judgment, and CAT's judgment will override income tax officer's judgment. This much you understand? Yes? So when I compare CAT appeals with Bombay High Court, who is supreme? As such in normal level, Bombay High Court. But is CAT appeals bound by Bombay High Court judgment? No. Even if he goes to Hyderabad only in ITAT in Hyderabad, Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, again Hyderabad Tribunal, is it bound by Bombay High Court judgment? No. Again they are going to have their own court over there, no? High Court over there. Are you understand till here? So here again when you are doing research, you have to also check. Some matters may not have gone to Supreme Court. Some matters would have been finished only at High Courts. So you have to see actually your client or taxpayer is in which state or which location. And as per that, you have to check which actually act is, which case study or case law is applicable to it. If, let us say, this may also happen, no? This is AP, no? Andhra Pradesh, no? AP, let us say High Court. Now pay attention, I'll give you that example. Let us say Andhra Pradesh High Court had said over there that it is taxable. I understand till here. Same matter. Bombay High Court said not taxable. Same matter. Hyderabad High Court, Andhra Pradesh High Court has said it is taxable. So now again you have two different points of view. So again, it depends where your assessee or taxpayers is situated. Understand till here? So that also kind of level of research you should know. Clear till here? Understood till here? But if it is given by Supreme Court, but you tell me, if the judgment is passed by Supreme Court that it is not taxable, can anybody challenge it now? Nobody can challenge it. Nobody. None of the high courts also anywhere. Understood till here, everybody? Yes? So whenever, no, I mean just again I'm telling you something practically, where there are many matters, where one high court is saying taxable, another high court is saying not taxable, and there are now 4 or 5 high courts giving different opinions. This obviously some of the other time that matter goes to Supreme Court. Let Supreme Court settle it. Understood? Clear everybody? Good. So I mean I'm just telling you the importance of case studies and the jurisdiction. Got it till here? And why do we use all those case studies, case laws? So that we don't waste our time. We can directly tell this is taxable or not taxable. Okay, that we can use that particular judgment. Got it till here everybody? Yes? Samjha? Fine. Okay, check.
So like civil and criminal cases, in this case also, person can plead to president level on the Supreme Court.
In income tax there is nothing concept of precedent. Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
There is nothing like that. They can maximum go to International Court of Justice. That may happen, which had happened in the case of Board of Commerce. They went to international courts later. Okay. Let us come to the first section now of income tax. Yes, ready? Short title extent commencement. Okay, check. This act may be called as Income Tax Act 1961. May be called. I hope you remember again in the basics of law where we are again going to do actually in paper 2. Every act has short title and long title, that we will see. Okay. So the short title as such is what? Name Income Tax Act 1961. Clear till here? It extends to whole of India, including everything now. As it is, we have changed that, but this was always there. Income tax was also always applicable in J&K as well. And save as otherwise provided in this act, forget it. Whatever the technical words happen, it shall come into force on the first day of April 1960. This we have already seen. Clear till here? Yes. So very small thing is given, that the name is given, applicability is given, and with effect from is given till here. Section 2 will be mainly about definitions. Clear till here everybody? I have not yet gone into what definition, but if at all you know a little bit, there are many definitions given in section 2. Okay, subsections we will have. Same thing you will see when in Companies Act. Section is one, but subsections are many, defining many things. Okay, till here? Check. Then what else do we have? Again, we have another thing. Section 3, previous year. Okay, it is a separate section. It is not a definition section. It is separate section. Section 3, previous year. Fine till here? And check now. Please pay attention. Now this is important. See, it is an old act, by the way. Right? So just like your Negotiable Instruments Act, Contract Act, same things are here, some things are there, and all of that. That is the still reason that it is not a proper logical sequence at times. Okay. So right now, check section number 4. What does it say? Charge of income tax. See, now tell me. Income Tax Act is there. It is going to tell you what is income, what is to be taxed, what is not to be taxed. But first, the Act should also tell you that we have to tax. The Act should also tell you that we have to tax. I understand till here. The Constitution told you, yes, you can charge income tax on income other than agricultural income. For that reason, we created Income Tax Act. But Act should also be given authority, no? The Act should also be given authority. The Act should say that yes, tax has to be charged, or we will charge tax on income. Okay, that is the reason we call it as a charging section. Please pay attention. Charge of income tax. Okay, we call it as a charging section. It is igniting that yes, income we will tax. You understand here? So definition of income, what is income, what is not income, which is taxable income, which is exempt income, all of that, rates of tax, that is separate. But first and foremost, basic is what? Income has to be charged or tax. That has been given properly, obviously, in the beginning, section 4. Are you understand here? So we call it as charging section. Again, every head of income, it will have its own charging section. What is head of income and all, that we will come to that. Don't worry. Okay. So check. What does section 4 say? So instead of going to section 2 and 3, first I'm going to section 4, because we are now starting with that. Yes, income has to be taxed or charged. Check. So tax shall be charged at the rates prescribed for the year by the Not Income Tax Act. Rates are given in Finance Act. I understand that Section 4 said that where whatever income, you check, tax shall be charged at what rates? Those rates which are given in the Finance Act. Now are you understanding the importance of Finance Act? Finance Act will give you the rates. Income Tax Act will remain as it is static, as such, relating to taxes rates. So rates, main rates are given in the Finance Act. That's the reason we are bringing it every year. Got it? The law, main law, what is to be taxed, how it is to be taxed, etc. that is given in the Income Tax Act. Rates will change every year, that is given in Finance Act. So is there any relationship between both of them? It is getting established over here as per Section 4 of Income Tax Act. Section 4 of Income Tax Act is saying that we will tax as per rates given in Finance Act. So one act is jumping to another act.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah, they will go hand in that. Basically, reference is given to the another act. Got it clear? Yes? Now pay attention. The charge of tax is on every person specified under Section 2, subsection 31. So as such, the assessee, that also a taxpayer, we are going to come to that. Tax is levied on person. Understood or not? Tax is levied on person. Please keep in mind again, every act has its own separate meaning and definition and details given. So person we have to first of all see. Let it be any law, whichever law you learn. Okay, whenever you open an act, any law you learn, you see a particular word, you don't understand the word, where will you check its meaning? If you don't understand the meaning of that word, where will you check it? You're opening the act, you have opened the act
In the definition.
in the definition. The purpose of Section 2 or definition as such is that to explain what is given in the act or what is the meaning of that particular words that is given in definitions. Understood here? So first and foremost, whenever ever you see a word whose meaning you do not know, you will jump to first Section 2 or definitions of that act. Got it? So person, where will you check, bacho?
2 of 31.
Where will you check? In the definitions. Why? 2 subsection 31. What was 2, bacho?
Definition.
Did you check that? Definitions. Understood? Clear? Pay attention. Tax is chargeable on total income. So that's why right now we are just taking the basics. It is the act is telling you who is to be charged. Who? Persons. What rates? Finance Act rates. Yes. Tax is chargeable on what? Total income. Nah. Isn't it? Will you charge tax on only income, taxable income, profits, expenses? What? We do it on total income. Did you understand earlier? Earned during the previous year and not the assessment year. Previous year and assessment year as of right now you do not know, so we will come to that later on. Okay? But let us right now just say year earned in a year. Clear till here? That means are you taxing 2-3 years income together?
No.
No. You're taxing for a year, na? Do you understand the difference between year and years? Do you understand the difference between year and years? It is right now saying what? Year. That means we will obviously tax in a year for the income earned for a year. We are not going to tax 2-3 years income cumulative. Otherwise, what will happen? Too much of tax liability in one single year. Too much of tax liability, too much in one single year. That will become very much problematic for the taxpayer. Are you understanding or not? See, pay attention. No? If every year he was earning 100, you know, as such, isn't it, bacho? And every year he is supposed to pay, let us say, what? 30 rupees of tax, you know, isn't it? But if he earned that 100 every year, he earned it. But then later on, you tell him that no. Together, all 400 you have to pay taxes in one single year. It will become very much problematic, or you can say too much of cash outflow will be there for his taxes. Okay, till here? Because he's already earned that income, and now you're telling him to pay how much? 120 rupees of taxes. So that will become too much of a problem. So basically, obviously, we tax what? One single year at a time. Did you understand till here? Are you understanding till here? Got it? If any doubt, please ask. Huh? There are certain exceptions that also will come to that. Don't worry. Entire chapter you have to do. Okay. Tax shall be levied. Now pay attention. Levied means again charged or imposed in accordance with and subject to various provisions contained in the act. Which act?
Not tax.
The Income Tax Act itself. That means this subsection is telling you that the entire calculations will be done. All the provisions of this act will help you to calculate what, bacho? The total income. That's why we have so many sections. which will tell you how to calculate the total income. Got it? And on that total income, we are going to obviously charge the tax. Fine, everybody till here? Done? You want a small break? 5 minutes? Yes, and then we will start again. Okay or no?
Yes.
Yes, yes.